Hey guys, welcome back to Jason Journey Builds. We're back out in the shop today. We are going to dry fit our classic auto air AC system in our Bronco. I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace. Zach Mays, he posted it, and it was right about the time Joni was telling me she wanted to do air conditioning, and we were able to work out a deal, and he gave me a great deal, so I really couldn't pass it up. Glad to get it. So I'm glad we got it now, because what we have to do is drill a few holes in the firewall, and I'll show you here in a minute. When we bought the Bronco, they had an aftermarket heater in it. I don't know if many of you guys have watched our very first video, but it's kind of painful. They had just like a J.C. Whitney heater in it, and they drilled holes in the firewall. So now I can locate the holes I need, and we can patch and fill up the holes we don't before I really start body work. So this is the perfect time to go ahead and get this dry fitted. I'll show you what we have and how we're going to go about it. Alright, so just to show you guys real quick, I don't want to get every piece of the kit out. You can go online, but it's the Classic Auto Air Perfect Fit series. The main portion of it, it's got the new heater box and controls everything that goes under the dash. And it's, really a compact unit. It's got a better fan than the originals. It's much quieter. The biggest, I've installed two of these in the past, and they work very well, and everything fit very good. So I guess it's kind of their name, Perfect Fit. You follow their instructions. I can give you that little bit of advice. The only thing I was going through the kit I don't have is the defrost ducts, and I guess for Broncos that had heater assemblies in there originally, you'd pipe to it. Well, as you guys remember, my Bronco is radio delete, heater delete. So I didn't have any of that up inside it, so I'm going to have to source a set of defrost ducts that go behind the dash. But other than that, everything is in this kit that we need. And I'll show you one more neat thing. So this kit came from BC Broncos, I believe. I don't know that for a fact, but or either Classic Auto Air sourced their brackets from them. But what's pretty cool is it comes with the compressor mounting bracket that goes on the 302 with a small block Ford. And it also comes with a new power steering bracket, which I think this bracket can be mounted to most of the different power steering pumps. So I can pick what pump I want to use. I didn't have this. This is one part I didn't have also for the Bronco. And so this was actually a really good find, or a surprise, I guess you'd say, when I got this kit, because this is something else I was going to have to order. So this helps me out a lot. So what we'll do today basically is getting this mounted under the dash, and I'll show you guys where to measure it from. It's taken me a lot of time kind of just sitting there staring at the instructions and staring at this, because again, mine didn't have some of the locating holes that they're telling you to use. We'll get all this laid out, get the drills marked, and get this mounted. Then we'll take it back out, and that part's done, and then I can weld up the holes I don't need. Okay, here's the engine compartment of my Bronco. And as I was telling you before, this is those holes that they'd cut in this thing, and they're just kind of placed in there randomly in these mounting holes for the that aftermarket heater. So my concern was the Classic Auto Air comes with a set of templates in their instruction manual that you cut out, and they'll tell you what you need to do. And then here's another one in different places. Well, they tell you original heater holes, and then you're supposed to place this on that, and then you'll drill your two new holes. I don't have original heater holes, so luckily I had a 70 model out there, my red one, and I went out there and measured the holes on it. But when I came back in and got looking at my firewall, apparently Ford dimples the firewall. That if you don't get it, these are just there so they don't drill all the way through, but the actual dimples are there. And so I do know where these mounting locations are. And these two holes down here, these are the original exits for the heater hoses. And reading a little bit further in the instructions, the old heater hole locations become your bulkhead locations for your AC lines. So I'll need all those. So if you're like me and you had a heater delete, look for these just indentations on your firewall, and that'll locate what they're trying to tell you to go find. So what we'll do here is I'll get up on the dash on the inside now. I'll place this over the holes, over those indentations, and then mark my 2 holes that I have to drill for the new heater hoses. Okay guys, so this is the firewall on the inside of the Bronco. You can probably see these indentations from in here. I'll mark them with my Sharpie. Okay, and this is the 2 original, well, where they should be if you had a heater. So what you'll do is this gets placed over these 2 holes here, gets placed on your inboard side of holes, or closest to your kick panel. So I'm going to use a pin and see if I can feel that dot right there. Okay, so that is lined up over the holes. Now I'll take my Sharpie. I went ahead and put holes through the center so my Sharpie would go through. And then I have this other hole down here. This hole here is for your drain, so the condensation, so it runs out and drops on the ground. So here's our new hole locations. Oh man, that is right on top of that brace. I can see the spot weld. Okay guys, so this is the other template they supply, and this where they want you to drill these 2 holes to mount the floor housing. It's kind of unclear when you're looking at it. Go ahead and mark that anyway. I need to drill this hole. I'm going to show you guys. This one here, I was telling you, is right on top of this brace. There's a brace right here that holds my firewall to my floor pan. And all this is the drain. And if you look at the picture, you have, looks like about 1.5 inches of tubing that comes from the bottom of your system, and this drains out on the ground. So I'm actually just going to move this over about 3/4 of an inch, so I'm not on top of this brace. So I'll show you a picture on the outside what I'm talking about. And right in here, guys, is the brace I'm talking about. Is where they wanted me to drill was going to be right on top of that. So I just moved it out 3/4 of an inch, so my drain will actually come out right here. And then I need to drill these 2 and these 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drill our holes. These 2 are supposed to be 5/16 of an inch. Right, so this template that we marked first, it says to drill 1.5 inch diameter holes. And this is for where your heater hoses come through. I have a hole saw kit. It's got 1 3/8 and 1.5 inches, but just from past experience, anytime I use these hole saws, it always seems to enlarge the hole just a little bit. And so before I did that with the 1.5 inches, I went and got the grommet that actually goes through the firewall. And this 1 3/8 is plenty big to pass the inside portion that when you push this through, it seals up against. And I know when I drill this, that hole is going to be larger than 1 3/8. It's probably going to be more like 1 7/16. So if you go too big, what'll happen is when this grommet pushes down, you have a chance of getting right to the edge of your hole at the top of your rubber grommet there. So I'm just going to drill it one size small to start with, and hopefully that's all I'll need. So basically what that came out to was 1.41, and 4375 is 1 7/16 or 7/16. So right now it's between 1 3/8 and 1 7/16, and about what I expected. So these should have no problem going through there, and they'll be much tighter than they would be if they were at 1.5 inches. So anyways, I like that. So now we need to drill a hole down here, 11/16 of an inch. I'm just going to start it with a 5/16. Now I'm going to get a stepped bit and finish the 11/16 inch hole. Guys, if you don't have a set of these stepped drill bits, these are so handy. So, and this one has actually got it marked on the bit itself. And so I did, I just took a Sharpie so I know how deep to go. Right at the black mark is 11/16. All right, so now they want you to remove this upper clip. I guess you're going to use it somewhere else. I haven't got that far yet. We put this Z-bracket on. It's supplied 1/4 bolt. I'm not going to go too tight because I might have to rotate that. Okay, we have one more bracket to install, and it's basically the blower housing support. And this is always one of those things that kind of makes you nervous because they don't give you a very good dimension where to measure it. They just give you a picture. You have this tab, and then you have your bracket. So, and it looks like in the picture to me, this leading edge of this bracket is right on the edge of this right here. And basically when this sits up against the side of it, this is vertical, up and down. So let's see if I can show you on this picture. You see right there in the middle picture with the arrow pointing to it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna mark it. So I get it right where I want it, if I can see this. I can just get one in it and then I'll do the other. I'll pre-drill the hole. See. Little bitty pan head screws. They go in the top. A second. Okay guys, and there's one more thing I'm gonna need. So there's 3 more holes I have to drill. If you have your original, if you have a heater in your Bronco, you're gonna reuse your lower, the lower hole closest to the kick panel to mount the new heater box. And then where your existing heater hoses come through, I have to drill mine. And they supply 2 bulkhead plates. Basically the hoses are work as a bulkhead. You'll have one on the front side, one on the back. and your smaller hose goes towards the engine. So what I did is I sort of centered it where the two dimples are for the original heater hoses, and I marked the holes, and I'm going to go ahead and drill mine to the bulkhead plate rather than the big hole for the hoses, because I don't need that. I need it to look like this. So I got 3 more holes to drill, then we can go ahead and see if the box will mount up underneath the dash. All right guys, so we've got our holes drilled. I've got my upper hole drilled out. So now we'll see if this thing will bolt in. It's gonna get a little tricky. I'm gonna have to get Joni to get on the outside and feed the screws in through the firewall. So we'll set the camera up and we'll do that. Okay, coming to you. Alright guys, so the last thing that we need to do is get this little brace that we screwed to the top of the blower motor a minute ago. We need to get it screwed into this firewall. It's sort of coming down where the heater box is, or your air box with the original equipment. And what they want this thing to set level, and I was just pushing it up, and when the top of this box for me, when it contacts that angled portion, it's level. So I went ahead and pushed it up there a second ago like so, and kind of held it in place, and I put my level on it, and that's holding it level. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this hole pre-drilled so it makes it a little easier when I put the screw up there.
I had to cut that out because I couldn't see it.
It's all right, well, it just shows me drilling it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use 3/4 inch Tech screw. Alright guys, me and Joni were just sitting here looking at it, and with this kit you get a glove box, and I also got a glove box with my painless wiring. So I really want to use it because they integrate the fuse block into the glove box. So it's going to be a little tough. We're sitting there, how in the world are we going to get this in there, you know, because the box is so close. But then I forgot, you just pull your dash panel back. So if you're doing this again, if you're putting an AC system in on a built Bronco, it's a lot of work, you know, to pull all this out and get your glove box put back in. So we'll have to address this on another day on what we're going to do with the fuse block, because do I have to modify it? Because what it is they've got a relief on the back because your hoses are going to come around. So that's going to be a little tricky. So anyways, just food for thought. So we're going to go back around to the engine compartment side, and I'll show you why I did this at this stage. All right, guys, all that work. Well, one reason, because it has to be done, but why I did it now is now I can come in here and no, I don't need that. I don't need that. And this one. Again, I'm doing all this at this stage so I don't weld on this Bronco again once it's in primer. So I have just a few more things to do, touch up items, and we're going to start doing the real body work. If you get a perfect fit system, I hope this helps, because this one was a little more difficult. This one wasn't as straightforward as the Mustangs that I've done in the past. They kind of left a lot of information, just they figure or you'll figure it out. Well, I did, but hopefully this will kind of help answer some of the questions you might have if you're putting in this same system. Anyways, you guys come back, visit us again. We'll be posting new videos, hopefully every week, and keep getting this Bronco moving forward. Thanks again. Y'all take care.